Good morning, everybody. It's clearly morning, hence the pigtails and the PJs. Yes, I actually did sleep like this. Um, Not like you don't already have enough to think about with your time management, taking one day at a time, being overwhelmed with all the things that need doing, how to prioritize what needs doing, how to figure out what your priorities are so you make sure you're dedicating the most time, energy, and attention to your priorities rather than to busyness or obligations. Trying to motivate yourself to do what's going to be good for you in the long run versus what's going to be good for me now in this moment. One thing that can help add to motivation for long-term betterment, longevity, a long health span, more stable finances, etc., the longevity of your relationships, long-term positive outcomes that take immediate time, energy, attention, difficulty, pain sometimes, like exercise, that we don't really feel like doing in the moment, but it's going to pay dividends down the road, is to remember one of those old quotes. That maybe your mother or your grandmother or grandfather used to say, "A stitch in time saves nine." Quote of the day. Now, when you're balancing your priorities, we can get into minutia, the priorities of the day, depending on how hectic and busy our schedule is, how many duties and responsibilities we have to maintain. That we get into minutia priorities and we neglect the basics. Food. How do you feed yourself? How are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? Are you making sleep a priority? Exercise. Movement. You either don't have the time to get a good night's sleep, don't have the time to get a full night's sleep, don't have the time to exercise, don't have the time to move. Maybe you are running your kids around all the time from this thing to that thing in your car, driving to work and sitting at a seated job, at a desk job, where you're not getting a lot of movement in through the day. But there are little ways you can get it in. When you're on the phone, walk around, get a headset when you take a call or have to make a call, and pace around. When you're older, that you can pick up your grandkids and carry them, that you can bend over and tie your shoes because you're still flexible and mobile enough to do so. Your future self will thank your present self for the little choices you made to make those little stitches every day. Make time to mend it now, because there will be 9 times the consequences in the future. But I decided to bring it down to the basics. to think about the long-term goals of your life. Picture yourself at 60, at 70, at 80. Where would you like your constitution to be? Would you like to be quick-witted, still sharp mentally? Would you like to still be either fit for a relationship and or in your current relationship for 20, 30, 40, 50 years? Would you like that to be enriched and happy and passionate still? Takes investing. Would you like yourself to be mobile enough, like I said, to carry a bag of groceries or, more than 10 pounds across the room to bend over and tie your own shoes and clip your toenails? Would you like yourself to be that flexible? Would you like to be able to climb a flight of stairs? Would you like to be able to care for yourself? You need to eat well enough and move well enough over the course of your life to be able to do that. Eventually, time passes and we will be at a stage and an age where the consequences of our small daily actions catch up to us. Whether we mended and tended to those basics: food, nutrition, sleep, education, learning, brain expansion, brain workout, stress reduction, movement, exercise, social connectedness. Those things that can get lost in the shuffle of how much we have to tend to as an adult, as low on the priority list, can get neglected. And we tend to put our self-care, and self-care is not just facials, and it's literally self-care, the way that you would ensure that someone you love, the person you love the most, be it your spouse, your partner, your very best friend, your parents or grandparents, your child, the way that you want to ensure that they are healthy and have not just a long lifespan, but a long health span, so they can enjoy their life. Those basics, that is self-care. Not just talking kindly to yourself, facials and toenails and, getting massages and those kind of things. And that's not all. Self-care is self-care. And caring for ourselves gets put to the back burner because there's just so little time in a day for all the things that need to be taken care of. But there are downstream consequences. That sweater will eventually become unraveled if it is not tended to. And it's hard to imagine yourself down the road when you're not there yet. It's hard to prioritize yourself over other people and over other things, depending on the season of your life, whether you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s. Your attitude, aptitude, and priorities are going to change. The quantity of responsibilities on your plate are going to change. Your abilities and constitution is going to change. What you value is going to change. But if you neglect from 20 to 50 basic self-care, you don't mend that sweater day in and day out in little tiny ways, little tiny stitches, you will pay downstream consequences. You may not know it now, but you'll know it later. And by doing those basic things, in the now, in the present, even if it's not pleasant, it's not immediate gratification. It may be hard to motivate yourself to do it. You don't know where to find the time. You have to make it a priority, because you can't be there for your family. You can't be there for your spouse or your relationships, intimate or otherwise. Can't be there for your kids or grandkids. Can't be there for yourself. Can't be there for the things that you've created in your life. Can't create in your life if you're infirm. So it really is a worthwhile investment to invest in you on a daily basis in tiny ways. It doesn't have to be big. Eat a little bit better. Be more conscious of what you are eating. Mindful of what you are doing. Moving, how much you're moving in a day. Whether you're exercising or not. Be more attentive to trying to get a full night's sleep versus whatever else you are doing, how late you're staying up, how early you're going to bed doesn't really matter. The hours that you are sleeping matter. Are you trying to learn something new? Are you reading or doing some other activity to try to keep your brain going? Or are you just doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again? As much of us are being adults. Are you doing things to enhance your cognition? Are you drinking water? Like 80% of Americans walk around dehydrated every day. And we are made of 70% water. Our heart is like 80% water, and so is our brain. You need to drink water. Are you doing those basic things? Because like I said, it seems like just a little stitch, and it's easy to skip here and there. But before you know it, here and there becomes a year, 2 years, 10 years, and by then you're beginning to see and feel the consequences of those little things you did not do. So when it comes to your priorities and your time management, you need to manage to squeeze in yourself as a priority and expand your thinking of self-care to those basics that often get neglected or pushed to the bottom of the heap, that are going to ensure that you live long and prosper. I'm such a nerd. Live long and prosper. I can do it with both hands. This video's gone on a long time. You get the drift. You are important. Treat yourself like you are. You have to move yourself up the priority list, because if down the road your future self will either thank you or blame you, wish you had done it differently. Don't do that to yourself. Pay attention to your health now. Pay attention to yourself now. A stitch in time saves 9, or 99, depending on which stitch you neglected. Good morning, goodbye. May you live long and prosper.